Have had a few weird experiences in my life. I personally attribute them to nightmares and paranoia, but a green text is a green text. Be me. About 7 years old. Never have any problems in my life or nightmares. Suddenly start sleeping very poorly at night. I keep hearing ringing in my ears during the night and it always starts during 3:23 a.m., like clockwork. For about a month I keep waking up at 3:23 dead stop. Always with a horrible migraine and ringing. Things get worse. Wake up once completely paralyzed. Fucking scared shitless, want to scream. Can't. The ringing is so loud that my eyes start watering and I'm seeing red. Suddenly see my door slowly opening. Insanely bright light fills the room, ringing very intense. Feel myself being lifted up, hear voices as if they're playing in reverse, extremely sped up, clicking. Feel burning sensations around my body, ringing stops, but it replaced by a singular painful screech in my head. Open mouth to scream, but can't again. Suddenly wake up standing on the other side of my room, completely drenched in sweat, start screaming my lungs out. Parents rushing in. Attributes it to childhood nightmares. It repeats again in a week, same scenario. Ringing that grows in intensity. A lot of pain, seeing red, can't move, door open and there's a bright light with voices that talk extremely fast and click. Parents now worried, talk about taking me to therapist. Dad especially worried when I tell him about it and he looks extremely upset, starts tearing up. Neither me or mom understands. He just says he's upset that I have to go through this. Things stop after the last one. Never hear ringing again. Talk with grandfather about it. Person I highly look up to. He's basically the ideal of what it means to be a man. Never lies, always straightforward, never drinks, extremely fit, spiritualistic, well read. He tells me not to worry about it and that it happened to my dad, to him, to his dad and his grandfather. Tells me that the feeling passes after a few times. Ask him what it is. He just tells me that there are people on this planet that go through this, that during the night and at a specific age nightmares come. That it's a bloodline thing and it's nothing we can do about it. That the nightmares only look scary, but they don't want to harm us and it's better to not resist. Tells me things will stop for me and to not worry about it, that the nightmares won't come back and won't talk with me again. Tells me it will happen to my son, and his son though, and that when it does I should just calm them down. That I might hear things and feel restless or scared, but that I should not go to his room until he yells out, because it might make things worse. What? Talk with grandfather about this later in life and he just tells me the same thing. Not to worry, it happens, nothing bad about it, but to not do anything when it happens and to let it take its course. In a way I kinda got angry at my dad since he never even talked about it and just told me to forget it. Also got angry at my grandfather since he was always vague. I lost some respect for both of them, because I felt that rather than taking me to a therapist about nightmares, they just blew a huge nothing burger about it and made me paranoid as a kid with these vague stories. They both have always been quite tinfoil tier in general, but didn't share much with me until I got older. At that time and even now I see them as someone weird and too absorbed in fantasy. They told me many stories about the weird things they saw in the Soviet army. Many more times they simply would go, the things I wish I could tell you, but I just can't. Especially my grandfather, as he had a very high standing in it. My father was the last one of our family to serve in the army. I wanted to do the same, but they were both very adamant in telling me not to do it. That it's a waste of time and that if I was serious about it, I wouldn't like the things there. My grandfather never got too absorbed into it and, as I said, took a spiritual approach. As for my father, he simply became an alcoholic. The only reason he gave me for drinking his life away, was that he just wants to forget about things and that I should be happy that I don't have to know about them. Would also go full tinfoil, read about various conspiracy and paranormal stories. break into crying, talking with himself, and binge drinking. This is some blog posting now, but I guess it's nice to share this aspect with someone. And I am bitter about all of this, as they were the two people that ruined my childhood. To end, I had nightmares, rather than helping heard spooky stories. Dad was an alcoholic that avoided life and blamed life in the army. Grandfather was just weird and spent too much of his entire life in an army that caused too many atrocities. Probably affected him.